The report was right. The whole village has been devastated. But there's not a drop of blood, let alone any bodies.
It's eerie. Still, maybe they got out? It's not unheard of.
In theory, I suppose. But then the question becomes why Titans would smash up empty houses. Bit difficult to believe. What's more, how far were these people hoping to get?
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Sansan, Best Anime Reaction. In the last episode, everything felt like it was reaching a breaking point. The enemy's threat is clearer, but the cost of fighting back is becoming painfully obvious. For this episode, I'm predicting intense confrontations and emotional consequences from earlier decisions. Characters may finally face the results of their actions, whether good or bad. There's also a chance we'll gain more insight into the world beyond the walls. Let's continue with episode 10 and see how the story moves closer to its climax.
By leaving their horses here.
That's a good point. So what do you think happened?
Bulbul, I found it! Look!
There you are.
You should see this.
A portrait of Connie Springer's parents, I presume?
Seems very likely, sir.
It's alive! No! Stand down! What the hell is going on?
It's your call. What's it gonna be? Is it Krista's future? Or your own petty existence?
Hey! Talk! Who's the real enemy here? Tell me!
Couldn't say.
All right then. Sorry, Aaron. You're kidding.
The scouts are here. Already?
Son of a bitch.
Talk to me right now. What are you right now?
A warrior, calm down.
Do you really think it's wise for us to trust Ymir? Even though she's the one who devoured Marcel?
Sure, don't you see? We have a handle on her motives. When she turned human again, odds are she just wandered around aimless.
Season 2, Episode 10 opens with a feeling that's hard to describe unless you've lived through it as a fan. The action hasn't slowed down, but the adrenaline from the Titan chase is starting to give way to something heavier. This episode doesn't scream at you the way previous ones did. Instead, it talks. And that's somehow worse. We begin in the aftermath of absolute disaster. Oren and Ymir are gone, kidnapped by Reiner and Berthold, the two walking plot twists who casually destroyed the fandom a few episodes ago. The Survey Corps are exhausted, injured, and emotionally shattered, but there's no time to sit down and cry about it because, surprise, the world is still ending. Hange and the remaining soldiers are moving with urgency, but not panic. And that's important. These are people who've lived with death as their roommate for years. Panic is a luxury they don't have. What they do have is suspicion, lots of it. Because if Reiner and Berthold were Titans, then the uncomfortable truth is this: the enemy has been living among them for years. And that realization hangs over every single conversation in this episode like an invisible Titan looming just out of frame. One of the most important emotional threads here is the way the characters are processing betrayal. Not in big dramatic speeches, but in quiet pauses, in the way they avoid saying certain names, in the way they stop mid-sentence because the words hurt too much to finish. This is Attack on Titan at its most mature. It doesn't tell you how to feel. It lets you feel it. As the soldiers regroup, we shift focus to Historia and the others traveling with the scouts. And here's where things get quietly terrifying. Because while the show has trained us to fear Titans as giant monsters, this episode reminds us that humans can be just as frightening, especially when they hold power and secrets. Historia is no longer just the sweet, self-sacrificing girl trying to be useful. There's something different about her now. She's calmer, more observant, and more aware.
Only giving a damn about herself. But then Krista came into the picture. That's the kind of girl that can change your whole world. We need her, and not just because she's cute. The people she comes from are an important family within the church. Plus, suppose Aaron's not the coordinate. Our job wouldn't be over. If it comes to that, having Krista around will make the search a lot easier.
They're close.
What are they talking about? They still plan on clearing out before sundown or not?
Please, let's just be done. The next time we come, we'll take all three. Annie, Krista, and that. It'll be clean and simple. Then we won't have to come here anymore.
Right. And we'll have completed our damn mission. Just do me a favor, huh? Once we're home, try telling Annie how you really feel.
What's that supposed to mean?
Come on. I've seen the way you stare at her.
I don't stare.
Bertolt, please. Life's short enough as it is. Just go for it, okay? Besides, you're both killers, so she understands where your head is.
What are you two doing now? I thought we were waiting till dark.
There's been a slight change of plans. I'm gonna ask you nicely not to try to put up a fight.
Easy. There's no need for us to get all violent. It's not like I can resist like this. I mean, take a look at me. Just calm down, okay?
Explain to me why we're leaving early.
Ymir, when you changed back into a human, do you have any memory of the person you ate?
No, not really. We're talking about something that happened 5 years ago. But the way you're asking, I'm guessing that it was someone you knew. I see. Then I'm sorry for not remembering.
Hey, it's not your fault that you don't. It was the same for Raina and me.
Yeah?
Aaron doesn't remember either.
Is that how it works? You hold that against me?
I don't think so. I mean...
The strange gravity surrounding her existence. Ymir's words from earlier episodes echo in her mind, even though Ymir herself is now gone. And that absence hurts. It's the kind of hurt that doesn't bleed, but it lingers. Meanwhile, we finally get to the core emotional battlefield of this episode. Eren Yeager himself. Eren is conscious, but barely. Physically restrained, emotionally shattered, and mentally spiraling, he's forced to confront something he's avoided his entire life. The idea that maybe, just maybe, he isn't the hero of this story. He's a tool, a prize, a key. Reiner and Bertholdt aren't ranting villains here. They aren't gloating, they're tired, they're broken, and that's what makes them terrifying in a completely new way. When Bertholdt speaks, it's with the quiet resignation of someone who's done unspeakable things and can no longer justify them, but also cannot stop. Reiner, on the other hand, is fractured. And this episode shows us that his mind is a battlefield just as brutal as any Titan fight. He shifts between identities, sometimes speaking like a soldier of the walls, sometimes like the warrior he was trained to be. You can see it in his eyes. He isn't pretending anymore. He genuinely doesn't know which version of himself is real. This is where Attack on Titan flexes its psychological horror muscles. Reiner isn't evil in a cartoonish sense. He's a victim of ideology, indoctrination, and trauma. And that makes the betrayal hurt even more. Because deep down, part of you understands him, and you hate that you do. Eren, of course, doesn't understand. Not yet. He's furious, confused, and deeply wounded, not just physically but existentially. His entire worldview is collapsing in real time. The Titans aren't just monsters outside the walls. They're people. People he laughed with, trained with, trusted. And then comes the moment that completely changes everything. The revelation about the coordinate.
I don't know. Suppose I have to believe he didn't want to eat anyone. How long were you wandering outside the walls?
Oh, about 60 years. Hell on Earth. Every day was like waking up into a nightmare.
Red smoke signal, sir.
The hell?
Commander Irvin, we're surrounded! There is a way around. Should we head towards it? No, we don't have time for a detour. We'll forge ahead. Soldiers, prepare to fight! For now, we find a place without Titans, as far away as possible. I haven't recovered enough to outrun these guys. They surround us. There's jack shit my Titan form can do right now.
Then why the hell didn't we just wait for the sun to go down? Smoke signals? Did the scouts come to save us?
Damn it, that formation wouldn't work unless they hoisted a bunch of horses over the wall. Who gave that order? I honestly thought we had more time than this. It's gotta be Commander Irvin. Hard as nails, that one. Damn, we're already that close. It's Aaron's fault for losing his cool.
Wait. Is she... Krista's here.
Ryder! We have to go back, now! Krista's with them!
What?
This is our best chance!
You're full of it. No way you can see that far.
Look, I just know! Think about it, okay? She's a big softie, right? Stupid girl's come to rescue me! She had to!
Yeah, well, so what? I'm sorry. It'll have to wait.
What?
We can't grab her the way things are now. There's no way to bust up that formation. Another time.
How long do you want me to wait? Maybe I should just hold off on that until I've been gobbled up by one of your warrior pals? Oh no, I don't think so!
Don't be that way. Nobody's trying to trick you, I swear it.
Prove it then! There's no time like the present, asshole! Damn you! Get down there and bring her with us! I need to see her! You don't understand. The way things are going, I never will.
We can't. Let it go, Ymir. Who knows whether we'll even manage to survive this? Sorry.
This episode doesn't drop information like a bomb. It slips it into the conversation and lets it sit there, daring you to process it. Reiner and Bertholdt reveal that Eren possesses something far more important than just the attack titan. He has the power that controls titans. The power their entire mission revolves around. And here's the genius part. Eren doesn't know it. The most powerful ability in the world is sitting inside a boy who has no idea how to use it. That irony is so cruel it almost feels intentional, like the universe itself has a dark sense of humor. This moment reframes everything. Suddenly, Eren's existence isn't just about revenge or freedom. He's a strategic asset, a walking apocalypse button, and the enemy doesn't want him dead. They want him alive and cooperative. That changes the stakes entirely. Meanwhile, Ymir's absence is felt more than ever. She chose to go with Reiner and Bertholdt, not because she agreed with them, but because she made a decision rooted in love and guilt. And this episode forces the audience to sit with that choice. Ymir wasn't trying to save herself. She was trying to repay a debt. A debt to Historia. A debt to the world that gave her a second chance and then demanded everything in return. The beauty of Attack on Titan is that it never presents choices as clean or moral. Every decision is ugly. Every path demands sacrifice. And Ymir's decision is one of the most human moments in the entire series. Back with the scouts, tension continues to build. Information is being shared, but carefully. Trust is no longer automatic. Every glance feels heavier. Every silence feels loaded. And that's when we start to realize something important. The walls didn't just keep Titans out, they kept people ignorant. Ignorance was safety. Knowledge is pain. As the episode progresses, we see characters like Hange and Erwin doing what they do best, thinking 10 steps ahead while everyone else is still trying to survive.
It's just too risky.
Listen to me. You have my word. I want her out of this as much as you do. Bear with me. You have to trust us. This is what's best for Krista. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. Real question is, do you?
Of course.
All right then.
Thank you for that.
It's happening again. I've come so far, done so much, and still wound up falling for my own bullshit.
Well, they look promising. What about this one? Hello there. How would you feel about coming to live with us? Think of it as the start of a brand new life. Of course, a brand new life needs a brand new name. Don't you agree?
That day, that was the first time I lied to myself. Told myself I had no say in the matter, that I never had a choice. But
It is this Lady Ymir that inherits the blood of His Majesty the King. So long as she graces us with her presence, immortality shall be ours.
to be fair, it wasn't all that bad. My food wasn't cold. I no longer slept in the dirt. Lady Ymir. Best of all, I knew what it meant to feel needed. For the first time in my life, I actually meant something to someone else. That, by far, was more precious than anything. Then, one day...
It's her fault! The girl's to blame! She said the blood of the king flowed in her veins! We're only guilty of believing her!
I was cruelly reminded that everything I clung to was an act.
Is that so?
I only... It's true. I am Ymir. The king's blood runs through me. Lie once, the rest follow easy. If it saved their necks, so be it. Trouble was, things didn't quite work out that way.
The present. Erwin, in particular, is terrifying in his calmness. Even when the world is unraveling, his eyes are fixed on something bigger. A truth buried beneath layers of lies. A truth worth sacrificing everything for. And that's when the episode hits its emotional climax. Eren breaks down, not in a loud, dramatic way, but in a way that feels raw and uncomfortable. He realizes he's powerless, that for all his rage, all his declarations of freedom, he's still a pawn. Still trapped, still unable to protect the people he cares about. This is a crucial turning point for Eren as a character. The angry, impulsive boy is being stripped away, layer by layer. What's left is someone who has to confront the possibility that freedom isn't something you scream about, it's something you take responsibility for, no matter how ugly the cost. The episode closes not with victory, but with uncertainty. The enemy is retreating, but they aren't defeated. The truth is emerging, but it's incomplete. And the characters, and the audience, are left standing at the edge of a much larger world than they ever imagined. Season 2, Episode 10 isn't about action. It's about consequences. It's about betrayal that doesn't feel clean. It's about villains who cry, heroes who doubt themselves, and a story that refuses to give you comfort. And that's why it's unforgettable. Because when the episode ends, you don't feel hyped. You feel unsettled. You feel curious. And most of all, you feel that creeping realization that Attack on Titan was never just a story about fighting monsters. It was always about people. And people, as this episode makes painfully clear, are the most complicated monsters of all. One detail in this episode that often gets overshadowed by Hanne's death and Eren's new power is Rainer's mental state, and honestly, this is where Attack on Titan quietly becomes terrifying in a completely different way. If Titans represent physical horror, then Reiner...
Help me! Stop this. I'm begging you. It's not right. That's when I realized I'd had it coming all along. I deceived those gullible bastards, but that wasn't what I was being punished for, really. It was for deceiving myself into thinking someone needed me. What else did I expect? That's what comes of looking at the world through a veil.
Titan, run!
First thing I thought was if there's such a thing as fate, she's a fickle little whore. Right then and there, I made a vow. No more deceiving myself. No more falling for my own line. From then on, I'd be real.
So, how did that play out?
The child was given the name Krista Linz. Then she was packed off to the cadet corps.
That is a pity. Poor wretch. Would have been better were she never born.
Are you trying to pick a fight?
All right, sure. Makes no difference to me.
And then... what do we have here? This your idea of trying to be nice? Well, and then I met you. Immediately I could tell. You and I were the same. You nourished yourself on lies.
Together we give our hearts!
Sir! Here was someone desperately trying to convince herself of something.
Represents psychological horror at its purest. In this episode, he is not roaring, not threatening, not celebrating his strength. He is exhausted, fragmented, and visibly breaking apart in real time, and that makes him far more unsettling than any mindless titan charging across the field. When Reiner carries Eren away, the way he speaks feels almost gentle, like an older brother trying to calm a younger sibling during a nightmare. He talks about going home, about how everything will make sense once they reach their destination. But the scariest part is not what he says, it's how genuinely he seems to believe it. In his mind, these two realities have completely overlapped. The Reiner who trained with Eren, protected him, laughed with him, and the Reiner who destroyed Wall Maria and killed countless people. He is no longer switching between roles. He is trying to live as both at the same time, and it is tearing him apart. This episode shows us that Reiner does not see himself as a villain. In fact, he doesn't really see himself as anything at all anymore. He clings to the idea of the mission, because without it, there is no justification for the blood on his hands. The mission becomes a psychological lifeline. If he can bring Eren back, then everything he's done has meaning. Every scream, every death, every night he's spent pretending to be human inside the walls suddenly becomes necessary. Without that mission, Reiner would be forced to confront the unbearable truth that he chose to become a monster. And this is why his interactions with Eren in this episode are so painful to watch. Eren is screaming, resisting, cursing him, but Reiner responds with a kind of desperate calm, like a man trying to convince himself more than anyone else. He keeps explaining, keeps rationalizing, because if Eren understands, then Reiner doesn't have to face the possibility that nothing he did was justified. In that sense, Reiner is not trying to save Eren. He is trying to save himself.
Everything she knew wasn't true. I get it. Believe me. And don't worry. I'm not asking you to understand. No. What I want is very simple. Just let me be honest with myself one last time. That's all. Let's face it, guys, I'm the one best suited for this.
What are you doing?
Hey, shut the hell up and use your head for a second. In a forest like this, I'm the one who can shine, right?
Ymir! Knock it off! We'll fall!
Do you think that I give a damn? I have the advantage. Any other time you two would outclass me, but my Titan form's more agile. I could leap through the trees, grab Eren, and rendezvous with the scouts before you knew what hit you. Wouldn't be that hard. Either you agree to take Krista with us today, right now, or so help me, I will throw your whole plan out of whack.
Are you completely insane? That doesn't help her! I thought that you genuinely cared!
I do, in my way. If it robs her of a future, then life's a bitch. But by God, I will live to see her again. I've made my peace with what that says about me. You guys have no idea what it's like. She knows what a shitty person I am, but she still smiles at me. I can't.
Damn it.
Don't be pissed. I have a fairly decent plan. Besides, if I stay and fight, it'll be easier for you three to get away. Then again, if you don't like it, we can always tear each other apart like animals!
You saw it too, huh? It's coming from the forest. I think someone's transforming into a Titan.
We're out of time. Soldiers, disperse! The enemy has assumed Titan form! Find Eren and get him out of there! Another MP! Battle is not our objective! Locate, recover, and retreat! Round up the horses! Right away, sir! First thing we do is pinpoint the enemy and tell the others. They're fleeing through the woods, so stay sharp! Right!
Where are you? That's the scream of a Titan. It came from just up ahead.
Bertholdt, by contrast, feels almost like Reiner's anchor to reality. He speaks less, but when he does, his words are heavy and grounded. Bertholdt understands the horror of what they've done, and unlike Reiner, he hasn't created a second identity to survive it. That's why he appears colder, more distant. He has accepted that there is no version of this story where they are heroes. Watching the two of them together in this episode feels like watching two different responses to unbearable guilt. One collapses inward, the other hardens. What makes this detail so powerful is how it reframes everything we've seen Reiner do in previous seasons. His kindness, his protectiveness, his moments of leadership were not acts. They were real. That's the tragedy. Reiner didn't pretend to be human. He became human, and that is precisely why returning to his role as a warrior is destroying him from the inside. In episode 10, every quiet pause, every tired expression on his face tells us that this war is not being fought by villains versus heroes, but by broken people dragging their trauma across a battlefield that refuses to care. This psychological collapse also mirrors Eren's journey in a subtle way. While Eren is discovering a new external power, Reiner is losing his internal one. Eren gains control, while Reiner loses it. One becomes a symbol of possibility, the other a symbol of consequence. And the cruel irony is that Reiner sees Eren as salvation, while Eren sees Reiner as betrayal incarnate. Neither of them is entirely wrong, and that moral grayness is what gives this episode its lingering weight long after the credits roll. By the time Reiner retreats at the end of the episode, he hasn't just failed a mission. He has lost the fragile mental balance that allowed him to keep moving forward. From this point on, every appearance of Reiner will carry the echo of this episode, of a man who tried to be both monster and brother, and paid the price for believing he could survive as both.
I can see you! No, wait a second! It's actually Ymir! This is her Titan form! She's one of the people they took! What the hell happened? Where is everybody else? Is Eren okay? What about Bertolt and Reina? So this is Ymir.
Did she assume Titan form to take on Reina and escape?
Ymir, what's the deal? Did you manage to get away from them? What direction did they go?
Give us something to go on! Anything!
Say something already! Come on, Ugly! We're kinda in a rush! Is she keeping an eye out for Reina? Something isn't right. Why is she looking at us one by one?
Ymir! There you are! Thank goodness you're all right!
What? Did she just... Ymir, what are you doing?
Don't just stand there! Move your asses! She's fast! We're losing her!
Why would she do that?
What's wrong with you people? Am I seriously the only one who saw this coming?
Well, it's clear where her loyalties are now. She and Reina are on the same side. They were lured into a trap. Heads up. She's back. Good. Oh no. No! They're getting away with Eren!
Move it! Get on your damn horses! This ain't over, you hear me? I'll get it back if it costs me my life.
Pursuit and battle become one. Hunter versus hunted. Emotions run high between friends turned enemies. Betrayal calls for blood. Loyal soldiers perish in droves. In a game of chance for the fate of mankind, Commander Erwin bets on a do-or-die strategy. Next episode. Charge.
Thank you so much for watching this video on General Sansan Anime. I really appreciate you spending your time here and sharing this anime journey with me. If you enjoyed this reaction, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Your support truly means a lot and helps the channel grow stronger every day. I'll be back very soon with more exciting reactions, emotional moments, and unforgettable anime scenes for all of us to experience together. Until next time, take care, keep enjoying anime, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.